You were told to work hard and everything would be fine. You believed it because it sounded simple and safe. Put in effort, stay disciplined, follow the rules, and life would reward you eventually. At first, it seemed true. Your income arrived on time. Bills were paid. You felt responsible, even proud. But slowly, the pressure grew. Costs increased. Savings stayed small. One unexpected expense was enough to shake your confidence. Hard work kept you busy, but it did not make you secure. It kept you focused on tasks instead of outcomes. You worked harder, not smarter, because that was what you were taught to respect. The problem is not effort. The problem is direction. Effort without leverage traps people in cycles that feel productive but lead nowhere. You trade time for money, but time never multiplies. A job pays you for reliability, not freedom. The system values consistency more than growth. If you perform well, you are rewarded with more responsibility, not ownership. Over time, comfort replaces ambition. Stability replaces curiosity. You stop asking where this path leads, as long as it continues paying the bills. This is how people become stuck without realizing it. Not through failure, but through obedience. Not through laziness, but through exhaustion. Hard work is not the enemy. Blind hard work is. When effort is applied without strategy, it produces stress instead of progress. Understanding this difference is the first step toward changing the outcome. Awareness changes behavior before behavior changes results. Once you see the pattern, repetition feels heavier. You notice the ceiling. You question the tread. And that quiet discomfort is useful, because it pushes you to seek skills, assets, and systems that grow beyond your hours. This shift rarely feels dramatic, but it slowly changes how you work, think, decide, forward. Most people think exhaustion is a personal failure. They assume they are tired because they are weak, undisciplined, or not motivated enough. That belief is convenient, because it hides a harder truth. Exhaustion is not an accident. It is a feature. Modern work is designed to drain attention. Long hours, constant notifications, endless urgency. Nothing is ever finished, only paused until tomorrow. When your energy is low, your decisions become small. You choose convenience over strategy, relief over growth, stability over freedom. This is how control works quietly. A tired person does not rebel. They comply. They follow routines. They repeat yesterday because thinking about tomorrow feels too heavy. Look at how little time you have left after work. Not just hours, but mental clarity. You sit down to learn something new, and your mind resists. Not because you are lazy, but because it has been overused all day. So the system keeps you busy. Busy enough to feel productive. Busy enough to feel responsible. But too busy to build leverage. This is why exhaustion is powerful. It doesn't need force. It doesn't need threats. It simply keeps you tired enough to accept what you are given. And when people blame themselves for that fatigue, the system becomes invisible. You don't fight an enemy you can't see. You just try harder, sleep less, push more, until exhaustion becomes your normal state and survival feels like progress. And in that state, long-term thinking disappears. Planning feels risky. Change feels expensive. So you stay where you are, not because it is good, but because it is familiar. Familiar pain feels safer than unknown possibility, and exhaustion teaches people to choose safety even when it slowly costs them everything. That is the quiet mechanism behind modern control, and most never notice it. You were given a promise before you ever had a choice. Work hard, get a stable job, be loyal, and life will take care of you. For a long time, this advice worked, not because people were smarter, but because the system was different. Housing was affordable, healthcare was manageable, education did not require decades of debt. One income could support an entire household. Stability was real, not theoretical. Back then, effort translated into security. If you showed up, played by the rules, and stayed long enough, life moved forward with you. That world is gone. But the advice survived. Today, productivity no longer lifts wages. It lifts profits. Companies became leaner. Jobs became temporary. Benefits quietly disappeared. But expectations never dropped. People were told to keep doing the same things and expect the same results. So they worked harder, stayed longer, accepted more responsibility. When life became more expensive, they blamed themselves. They thought they chose the wrong career, the wrong degree, the wrong company. They assumed they were behind because others were ahead. But most people are not behind. They are standing on a path that no longer leads anywhere. The promise didn't fail because people stopped working hard. It failed because the system stopped rewarding effort. And when a promise expires, continuing to believe in it does not make it true again. It only makes the cost invisible. People keep paying with time, with energy, with years they never get back. Not realizing the rules changed, only the expectations stayed the same. Hard workers are praised, but they are rarely free. The system does not punish laziness, it punishes independence. When you work hard inside a structure you do not control, you become reliable. And reliability is valuable. But valuable workers are not released, they are kept. The better you perform, the more the system depends on you. You get more tasks, more responsibility, more expectations. But not more leverage. Hard work, in the wrong place, does not create opportunity, it removes it. Because the system needs predictable people, not free ones. This is why hard workers often feel stuck. They did everything right. They followed the rules. They gave more than required. And still, nothing opened up. Meanwhile, people with leverage earn more while working less. Not because they are smarter, but because they are positioned differently. They own processes. They control distribution. They benefit when others work. Hard workers sell time. People with leverage multiply outcomes. This is not unfair. It is structural. Effort is rewarded only when it creates value that can scale beyond the individual. Without leverage, hard work becomes a signal of obedience. And obedience is safe for the system. It keeps things running. It keeps expectations low. It keeps change slow. Most people are not stuck because they lack discipline. They are stuck because discipline was aimed at the wrong target. And the longer someone stays in that position, the harder it becomes to leave. Not because they cannot, but because the cost of change grows quietly. Responsibility increases. Risk tolerance drops. So the system rewards hard workers with stability instead of freedom. And stability feels good right up until it becomes a ceiling. A salary feels like safety. That is why it is dangerous. It arrives on time. It reduces anxiety. It creates the illusion that everything is under control. But a salary does not remove risk. It hides it. You feel stable not because you are protected, but because nothing has gone wrong yet. The problem with a salary is dependence. Every bill you pay depends on permission. Every plan you make assumes continuity. Every decision quietly asks the same question. What happens if this stops? As income rises, life expands. Bigger rent, longer contracts, subscriptions you forget you have, obligations that cannot be paused. So even when you earn more, you do not feel freer. You feel more fragile. Because now losing your job does not mean inconvenience. It means collapse. Most people do not notice this trap forming. It grows slowly. Comfort first, commitment next, fear last. A salary trains people to avoid disruption. Not because they lack courage, but because the cost of change becomes too high. Risk stops feeling like opportunity. It starts feeling like recklessness. This is why people stay even when they are unhappy, even when they know the path is limited. The salary did not make them safe. It made them dependent. And dependence is the opposite of freedom. You do not need poverty to control people. You only need predictable income and rising obligations. Once those are in place, most people will protect the system that protects their paycheck, even when that system quietly limits everything else. Hard work was never the problem. Blind loyalty was. Most people were never lazy. They were never careless. They simply trusted a system that no longer rewards trust. They followed the rules long after the rules stopped working. And the cost was not obvious at first. It showed up slowly. In stress. In anxiety. In the feeling that time was moving but life was not. Years passed without clarity. Effort increased without leverage. Responsibility grew while freedom quietly disappeared. Nothing dramatic happened. That is why most people never notice. They are not trapped by force. They are held by familiarity. Familiar routines. Familiar payments. Familiar expectations. Leaving feels dangerous not because it is impossible, but because it breaks the illusion of safety. So people stay. They work harder. They try to optimize within limits. They hope stability will eventually turn into freedom. It rarely does. Freedom does not come from doing more inside a system you do not control. It comes from seeing the system clearly before it costs you more time than you are willing to lose. Most people will not change. Not because they cannot, but because by the time they understand the trade, they are too tired to challenge it. And that quiet realization is often the heaviest part.